Good morning, Tuesday, May the 26th, 2020. And here in the UK, we're just over the bank holiday weekend, but still, it's a beautiful day. So we're going to grasp that beautiful day and we're going to inject it in our own bodies and our own mental. And we're going to be fulfilled with happiness, because that's what the sunshine gives you, some happiness, because it's rich with vitamin D. Don't know if you've heard about that. Anyway, the reason why I'm making this post, everything is relative, by the way, everything is relative. At 10:30 a.m. this morning, so right now it's in the 7 o'clock area in the AM, but at 10:30 I'm going live. Now, this particular post is going to be blasted on a few platforms, and the platforms that it does get landed on, they're not really liking the fact that I'm trying to pull you away from their platform. So there won't be no links to this. What there will be is when I do the live, I'll share the link and then I'll put it into the comments of where you see it now. For anyone that does know me, for anyone that has followed me before, or anyone that would like to, it's Trainwise. So, 3Ws, trainwise.net, or there are various other platforms that I go by with Trainwise Lifestyle with Fitness Coaching. And you should find my live on there. That's at 10:30 a.m. However, don't think this is going to come out at 10:30 by the time I edit it. Anyway, it'll be there for you. And what the live is going to be about, it's relative to the over 50s, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you need to not watch it because you're not over 50, because it's quite relative, because I come from the fitness sector, so it's very health orientated. And with that, I like to deliver value on all spectrums, all sectors, and all genres. So I'm part of a 3-day live challenge, and that is to get ourselves out there for 15 minutes, and we have to speak about 5 things within our sector. It doesn't necessarily need to be within our sector, but I've chosen it to be within my sector because it's always going to be business orientated. And what the subject is going to be about is how to stay nifty at 50 when you're locked in. And because we are in this locked in environment, what better way would there be for you to obtain some tips? Now, this is going to be on top of my head right now, so the actual live will be formulated and there'll be a structure to the live. So this is kind of my pre-run to it, and I'm kind of using this as my stress test because I don't have no script right now. And I'd like to first start off with, what have we got to look forward to when we reach 50? It's not very pleasant, I will tell you that, from the stats that get shown on the current UK analysis of those that are diagnosed with certain conditions and those that are being administered to hospitals, and there's more of a GP reoccurrence for those over 50s. So you've got, it was actually a little bit to my surprise, you've got arthritis actually being up there as the number one. So arthritis, well, okay, I don't want to really simplify it, but I'm going to have to. And that is when your bone gets a bit porous and your bones, they don't have that created facility no more. So they don't have that building product no more, which is mainly facilitated with calcium. And there are lots more other micro minerals in that, such as vitamin C and zinc. However, calcium itself. So the tips will be about how to get more calcium in your body. So you've got arthritis. You've also got something called, which is quite relevant at this stage, at this time, which is COPD. And that stands for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And that's to do with your respiratory system. So if you think of asthma, and then you kind of multiply it by that standard there. You've also got obesity. Now, this is when you reach the 50s and plus, but again, it's kind of widespread across the nation. Obesity, you've got type 2 diabetes. It's quite prevalent and relevant in these days, at these times. Also eyesight, looking to get real bad when you reach over 50. And your libido your drive. So for ladies, your estrogen, you're going to go menopause, and then men, testosterone goes low, and then you get really frustrated with life. So let's look on the freaking bright side, right? And as I mentioned in the beginning, the vitamin D. Yeah, sunshine. That's going to help you. So that's one of my tips. So still when you're locked in, you can somewhat get out. So get out and enjoy that sunshine. And you can't say that the UK right now is not offering you the sunshine. It certainly is. And it has been for the 9 weeks that we've been locked down. I can probably count on one hand how many times we've had bad weather in the UK over the 9 weeks. We have been totally blessed in that way, but in another way we've been victimized really in order for us to not enjoy it that much. So there it is. Don't enjoy it too much. So vitamin D being the number one, not necessarily the number one tip, but it's the number one. So let's get that elephant out of the room right now. Sorry, my arm's getting tired. So let's get that elephant out of the room right now. And that is exercise, right? Now, of course, coming from the fitness sector and coming from a person who advocates everything there is to know about movement, then of course I'm going to say exercise. But what kind of exercise? Honestly, if you ain't doing much, any exercise. Movement is in particularly the one that we want. So you don't have to think about picking up a weight, even though weight bearing and weight resistive is very, very good for your bone density, as in you keep it and you can grow it. You're looking at movements that would require you to challenge yourself. So do you live in a house with 2 floors? If so, that means you've got stairs, right? So those stairs, how many times do you go up and down them a day, right? Or do you fear going up and down them a day? Whatever your level is right now, then up it times 2. So if you decide to go up the stairs, right, go back down and then go back up again, right? If you're the kind of person that really holds it in and you're even thinking about building a downstairs toilet because you can't be going upstairs, then be that kind of person to go about 5 steps. So pick 4 to 5 steps, and that will be your challenge for that. Exercise wise, there are certain things that you could do as well within the house for movement, like regarding squats. Maybe there's going to be that perception that you have to get a big barbell on the back and then start squatting deep so your ass goes to the grass. Doesn't necessarily need to be like that. You could just get a chair, try and sit on it, and then when you stand up, don't put your hands on your thighs, don't put your hands on the arms either. Just try and just stand up, and that'll be your squat. So you can give that a go. Now, I know I'm talking about the over 50s. I don't want you thinking that I'm thinking you're some degenerates and you can't do nothing. But I get that. I'm just being very, very simplistic, and hopefully you understand that. And don't think that I'm out there to offend anyone, because my lives is all about being nifty at 50. So we've got exercise, we've got vitamin D, right? So the third one, if you're a couple, if you're not a couple, by the time we get out of this lockdown and you decide to like find someone, sex, massively important when you're over 50. Remember what I said about the estrogen, the progesterone, the testosterone, that gets elevated when you keep on having that side of the fun when you're an adult. And I would suggest that getting nifty at 50, having a bit more nookie. So that's the number 3. Number 4 is nutrition, what you're eating. So it's very, very important that you understand that there's got to be a balance when you want to become nifty at 50. So you can go on specific diets, right? You can go where you believe that there is one type of food that agrees with you more than the other type of food. There are many, many diets out there. There's the ketogenic diet, where it's mainly all about fats and meats, which is quite close to the Atkins diet. There's the 5-2 diet, which is an abbreviated, adapted, monitored, tracked diet when it comes to intermittent fasting. So you would eat for 5 days, fast for 2, or the other way around. There is calorie controlled dieting, which is if your macros fit, which means that you've got your macronutrients, which are your carbohydrates, your fats, your proteins, with your fiber as well. And if it fits your macros, and that's the diet for that one. You could track your calories as well. So get yourself an app, something like MyFitnessPal, and you could track your calories, but that's got to be detailed every single day. And if you're not very good at keeping a promise to yourself, or you know that you're not very good at tracking, then there's two things you can do. Leave that alone, try something else. Or the other thing is push yourself to get better, and then start formulating that habit little by little by little, because you want change. Nothing is actually going to start to move unless you want the change. So you've got to create the first step, and then that step will hopefully gather momentum, and then you're on your way successfully to creating a habit. So that's number 4. Number 5, it's water. It's hydrate yourself. So if you're a male, 55 to 65% of you is made out of water. If you're a female, it's 50 to 60% made out of water. So it makes sense that you hydrate yourself, because hydration is vitality. Vitality is life. So how to remain alive? It's to drink water. It's quite simple. So hopefully that's brought you some value, and doubtful that I'm going to be editing this by 10:30 this morning. So what I'll do is, once I do the live, is get the link for the live, and then I'll post it into the comment box below. If this brings you of any value, then please just comment below. All we want is comments. We don't want no links blasted on this page, because this will just get thrown out of your algorithm, and paradoxically you won't see it. So me talking is pointless. Okay, so hope you have seen it, and hope you have one of them nifty days.